The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my shows Monday through Friday, 5 to 9 a.m. in Huntsville on WVNN and in Birmingham from 10 until noon on Talk 99.5. With me, as always, Mecca Music. She is the CEO of 256today.com. Smart news for smart people. And maybe we need some more smart people in Washington. We will talk a little bit about them as we move forward, because that's kind of the big news of the week. And I've got a parting shot for you that I'm going to talk a little bit about crime in Birmingham. And Jay Town will be with us. He is the former U.S. Attorney of the Northern District. We'll talk some crime with him. We'll talk some politics with him. So right now, though, let's go ahead and get into that 2-minute warning. All right, Becca, I'm going to save this for Jay Town because I have a question about him about, like, who's a member of Congress right now? I mean, the answer is nobody, I don't think. Dale Strong, however, is a House member-elect, a representative-elect. Katie Britt has been sworn in, so she is, in fact, a United States Senator right now. So you have two new individuals heading up to Washington, D.C., representing Alabama, and those individuals, who will be a bigger power player? Now, I think the easy money is Katie Britt. She's one of 100, right? And she said to me this week, I am 100 of 100. So that's what I am, meaning in the ranking system, and she's right. Dale Strong is one of 435. So I think the obvious answer is Katie Britt, but is that the right answer? Who's going to make a bigger impact?
Oh, I don't know if it's an apples-to-apples comparison necessarily. And also the other thing Katie Britt has is she has been already kind of tapped as a rising star in the Republican Party. Mm-hmm. So she is going to have a larger impact just by that merit alone. They're going to be putting her on a bigger, larger stage and telling people this is the Republican Party because that's the image that they want to present.
I agree with that, but there is more upward mobility sometimes in the House. Look at Gary Palmer. He's like, what, number 3 or 4 in the House right now? And he's only been there, for less than 4 terms, I believe. Well,
absolutely. And talking about Strong, I think that he is already making a presence known just by the fact that he is trying to get down to business. Yeah. And he has made that clear since he's been up there casting vote after vote after vote on these speaker ballots.
Well, I think he wants the Armed Services Committee.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what he wants. And, I think that he's making that very clear. I think Katie Britt wants that, too. I mean, her and Tommy Tuberville, I think those guys are going to work together. But I think Britt, knowing the system as it is already, and people will make the argument that, she was chief of staff, she's a swamp critter, and she understands how everything works. I think that is a strength.
Oh, how terrible.
No, I agree. I think it's a huge strength. I think it's a huge strength there, and I think she's going to be able to make it. I think the conventional wisdom is it's Katie Britt. I think it probably is Katie Britt, but I think Dale Strong, there's more upward mobility there. So
upward mobility and the impact he is going to have in his district, in North Alabama specifically, I think is going to be huge.
I agree. All right, let's talk about the Speaker of the House race. We talked about where Dale Strong was. Every member of the Republican delegation there in the House has voted, as of right now, for Kevin McCarthy to be the Speaker of the House. Now, this could change. It could literally change an hour after we film this. Who knows? So you guys might have a speaker right now. It could be Lauren Boebert. It could be Donald Trump. It could be whoever you want it to be.
Jackson.
Or it could be Dale Jackson. Katie Britt did endorse me. That is true. But let's talk about this. Is this unnecessary drama or is this good government? And, Byron Donalds is, I think, becoming the star of this.
Good for him.
He is becoming the star of this because they're nominating him. He's getting 20 votes here and there, but man, he's giving some money quotes. They asked him, he said, "Are you worried about payback after all this is done?" And he said, "Man, I'm 6'3", 265. He said, I'm not scared of anything." and it was like, man, this is a great guy, a funny guy.
Yeah.
Kevin McCarthy, the front runner in all of this. You have people who are against him have about 20. He has 200. It's obviously easier to get to 218 from 200 than 20. But is this good government to be having this battle out in public? I would argue this is how our system should work. They should be debating everything out in public.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say. Is it good government? I think that's a little too far. I don't know if I would call this good, but this is the way our government can work. This is according to the rules. The only thing that I would say is bad on the Republicans' part is that right now, if they were smart, they would be spending the next 2 years doing investigations, doing what they can, with their limited power. They do have the House, but that's the only place they have. But convincing voters why Republicans should be in charge of the Senate and the presidency.
Yeah, and that's not the argument they're
Well,
making right now.
they're not. No, they are not making that a good argument.
We say we want openness and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Like, how come you didn't fix this in the smoke-filled room? Come out here and just tell us what you were going to do. And that's really what people are saying.
Do you not think that this reflects poorly on McCarthy as a speaker, a leader, to be able to get this done?
He had months to do this.
It's not just the months to do this. Like, I've been talking, I'm sure as you have as well, talking to contacts in Washington and things like that. And there's no team or follow-up or, as McCarthy is trying to gather these votes and things like that, we're asking members, well, has so-and-so contact? They're like, nope. That's not how you can really, that just shows maybe you're not very good at
Whether
being
the
a
process
leader.
is resolved by the time anyone sees this, it doesn't really matter. It's been a mess. I mean, and
it's been a mess.
That's the end result.
And it's an ego contest, really.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, it all is an ego contest. All right, let's talk about the ego contest here. How about Biden at the border? It was reported near the end of this week that Joe Biden's going to go to the border and they're going to let in 30,000 people, and then they're going to close it. That's when they're going to close it.
For select countries.
This time, they're going to close it, and we're going to fix this thing. Now, Katie Britt's actually going to the border.
Yeah.
She's going down there to the border. Her and Marsha Blackburn. I'm not saying they're going together. I'm not saying they're going to fly down on Air Force One together and have conversations. I'm not suggesting
Biden and
them. I'm not suggesting that.
I don't think that's happening.
But it is interesting to see that Biden is finally going down there.
Well, what was interesting to me was that he said he wanted, before he visited the border, he wanted to have this Title 42 kind of stuff worked out, where it was going and if it would be ended. But it's more likely that he did not want to draw attention to the border before the midterms.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, that's so. I thought that was a little bit, whatever. But as far as his plan and stuff, immigration advocates are coming out against it strongly and saying this is a terrible plan. You're going to hurt people.
Because he says he's going to cap it at a certain number, and then they're going to do border enforcement. Which, by the way, let me just let you know something. Okay. That's not going to happen. They're not going to. They say this all the time, and there is no. Why would Biden all of a sudden flip the switch and be like, "Oh, okay, now we're going to shut down"? After suing last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, Arizona and Texas, being mad that El Paso goes out and puts up a concertina wire and says you can't cross here, which had them go to the port of entries. They had actually went. So it was like, wow, if we put forth minimal effort to stop this, maybe we can divert some of it. And now they're saying that he's going to do that, which, great. I mean, more power to him. If he does, I'll praise him. I will come back here next week, and I will praise him.
I don't think it's going to get done next week.
No, it's not going to get done at all. But I think that's the key point. And all of this is I don't think it gets done at all. I think this is just a little bit of talk. And he's going to the border, though, so that's good. We'll see how close he actually gets. If I was a Republican in Texas, I would hire like a food truck that sells ice cream, and I would park it down at the border. That's the best chance you get to get Joe Biden out there. Tell him that there's some ice cream there. Let him go down there and get it.
This is a serious issue. It's a humanitarian issue. There's a lot. He should have already been there. The vice president should have been there. Things that this should have been addressed. Now that the midterms are over, it looks like there will be more attention played to border security, not just on the Republican side.
Humanitarian issue because we allowed it to get this bad. That's the truth. I agree with that. All right, let's talk about the governor's race here in the state of Alabama, because it's only like 3 years and 8 months before the next election. So, of course, we should be talking about this thing. And there's a lot of question. A couple things to talk about before we even get started here. Okay, Kay Ivey, she cannot run again. She's going to have like 10 years in at that time. And even though she could probably go another 10 years, that's the end of it. She's term limited out.
Right, but explain why she's been in office for so long.
Oh, because Bentley couldn't keep it in his pants.
No. Okay,
that's
so Bentley stepped.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Bentley couldn't keep it in his pants. She was lieutenant governor at the time, and then she got there, and
Thank you. And if you remember, she had actually run against Bentley for the governor's race.
And she said, "I can't win, so I'll be lieutenant governor."
Yes, exactly. She was at the bottom of the pack and switched races, became lieutenant governor, and then became governor, and has been governor by the time she's out of the 10
Enough about Kay Ivey and Robert Bentley.
It's very interesting.
issues.
Okay.
Let's talk about who could it be. I mean, the obvious front runner is Will Ainsworth.
Absolutely.
More votes in
absolutely.
this state than
But
anyone not named Donald Trump.
We need to reference the article. It was on
At yellowhammernews.com.
It was on yellowhammernews.com, and it's just, and I love talking about this. I love thinking about it. And as far as the article, it had all these candidates, I mean, and the odds listed, and it went all the way to, like, you know, a Merrill, and gave him like a 0% chance.
Crazy.
Running.
But you had
Battle was on there 25-1. But the top were.
You had Ainsworth, you had Steve Marshall. I think that's obvious.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think what happens if you ask me today to predict, I think Ainsworth runs for governor, Marshall runs for lieutenant governor. I don't see any reason for those two guys from Marshall County to beat each other up, especially when at this point it's going to be Ainsworth if that's the battle. I mean, that doesn't make much sense. Then they had battle listed. They've mentioned, good Lord, they mentioned 3 members of Congress.
It was great.
And they mentioned 3 members of the House and Tommy Tuberville as well. So a lot of different names mentioned here. I still think it's Ainsworth to lose, but we got a long time to go.
We have a long time to go, but going back to the Ainsworth-Marshall race, I too think that there might be an alternate path for Marshall. But if it was them head-to-head, I agree with you. I think it's Ainsworth's race to lose.
Yeah.
He's just so good at the retail politics part. He's out there. He's talking. He's helping other members of the party. He knows the community.
Take Kay Ivey as lieutenant governor and Will Ainsworth as lieutenant governor, and look at how different they handled that position. Because I don't think Kay Ivey was looking forward to running for anything else. I think Will Ainsworth has his eyes on that.
I agree.
All right, Jay Town coming up next. He is a former U.S. attorney. We'll talk with him about a couple of things. We've got some crime down in Birmingham we want to discuss. We'll discuss some politics with him as well. Stay tuned. It's Alabama Politics This Week.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. Now look, I love Kias. I've driven plenty of them. I used to have a Kia Sportage. When my son was born, my wife said, no, we got to get ourselves one of these big SUVs. The Telluride from University Kia is an absolutely amazing vehicle. You get it at a great price, but you get everything at University Kia at a great price. Learn more about them today. Head on over to universitykia.com. Find the perfect vehicle for you, new and pre-owned. They got it for you. universitykia.com.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you take insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump, and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improved range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here, and this is my son, Grant. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. He's a handful, I'm a handful, and if I want to stay married, I need Top Shelf Customized Cleaning to come and take care of my house. They do an amazing job for me, and they'll do an amazing job for you. Cindy loves them, I love them, Grant loves them as well. Check them out on Facebook, Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. And don't forget, call them today, 256-417-9122. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them Grant sent you. Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Music. Our guest this week, former U.S. Attorney Jay Town. He was in the Northern District of Alabama. Jay, before we get started and talk about some stuff in Alabama, I got to ask you a quick question here. You're a smart legal mind. I'm just, a Southern talk show host. I don't know too much, no good. But help me out here. Do we have any members of the House of Representatives right now? Or any of them, do we have any representatives right now in the House?
As we are talking here on January the 5th of 2023, the answer to that question technically is no.
Okay, so if I was to go in there and say, I don't know, crash the doors and go and stand on the floor of the House, could I declare myself to be the Speaker of the House?
You could do all of those things, Dale. I would suggest it's not a good idea.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Now let's get serious here for just a quick second. Yeah, okay, we got to get the serious points out. Let's talk about this seriously for just 1 minute. You have all this stuff happening. There is no Speaker of the House. The Republican Party, they're having their looks like they're in disarray. The Democrats are really enjoying this. As someone who is a Republican, been appointed by a Republican president, when you look at this, what is your overall thought as you see it as someone who's involved in it intricately? What do you see and what do you think, and how do you think it reflects on the Republican Party?
I think this reflects poorly on the Republican Party. I think it makes us look disorganized, makes us look like we're not ready to lead. It sort of explains why we didn't have the red wave that at least I was expecting in November. It does weaken whoever the next Speaker of the House is going to be, of course, unless it's a Democrat by some crazy arithmetic. But it is not a good look for the Republican Party. And the Democrats, they're right to be tweeting out emojis of popcorn. They're right to be going on television and saying, that this chaos is by a bunch of folks who are not fit to lead. I disagree. The Republican Party is far superior than anybody on the Democratic side of the aisle as far as ideas and legislative prowess. But as far as, just being able to pick a leader, we're, 90% of the party is being held hostage by 10%. And man, is it the wrong 10%? Oh my goodness. I mean, there's a couple of them in there that I would listen to, but there's some that I, wouldn't let in my house to, use the restroom.
So Jay, just by your comments just now, I take it that you are in favor of Kevin McCarthy becoming Speaker of the House.
I am. And here's why, Mecca. And I understand why people rag on, Mitch McConnell or Kevin McCarthy or even the leadership on the other side. But here's the deal. When you're trying to harness 222 folks or a majority of 435 into a singular direction, and that direction also includes getting them reelected and getting members even added to that body, to that number, it's an incredible amount of work. It takes a great deal of machinery and organization. And some of these 20 who are holding out against McCarthy took his money to get reelected. You'll remember Lauren Boebert, she got elected by like 6 votes, right? That was her reelection margin. That's how popular she is in her district of 700,000 people. And now she's holding up a country of 330 million people because her and others don't care for the swamp creature that is Kevin McCarthy.
Well, Jay, talking about the Lauren Boebert's election, do you think some people might say, well, that's great, that shows she's not beholden to anyone? And they might feel that way about many of these who are holding up the election, the 10%.
Well, she took a lot of money from the Republican Party outside of the state of Colorado. She was using their lawyers and their strategic geniuses to get across the finish line. She certainly doesn't feel beholden to anybody. The irony is President Trump says, hey, you guys got to go with McCarthy. And the Trumpiest of Trumpers are out there saying, hey, Trump, be quiet. We're trying to defend you.
What do y'all make of that? You and Jay, what do y'all make of that?
If you're asking me what I make of it, I think that it's a real risky thing for Donald Trump to do, because if it fails, then you're going to see what Chuck Todd did on television afterwards and be like, oh, he's got no power.
Well, just their reaction so far, with some of them just completely ignoring, coming in line.
Or saying he should retract it, yeah. Mm-hmm. Jay?
Yeah, I found it it's a pretty big gamble by Gates and Boebert and others who have told President Trump he's wrong, and he needs to, that McCarthy doesn't have the numbers, and therefore, he needs to withdraw. As if this group of 20 has they don't even have 21 people that they would all collectively vote for. So it's very difficult for me to see why Kevin McCarthy is not the Speaker of the House already. By the way, my big objection to this is not that that people don't like McCarthy. I don't know Kevin McCarthy. My objection to it is this all should have been done between the November election and 2 days ago, and it wasn't. This is family drama playing out on national television, and it was done purposefully this way.
Yep.
So that people could get their clicks and their time on TV, and they equate that with influence, and they're wrong. Because these 20 people, when's the last time someone asked Matt Gaetz how we solve a major problem?
That's
right?
a good point.
Good point. All right, let's move real quick to Birmingham. They had a record, well, not record, because a long time ago they had some issues, but in decades, for the first time, really high homicide numbers. And you and I had talked about this offline and on, about the mayor's social media presence, where he's posting 14 days of Randall Woodfin or whatever it is, and you have 12-year-olds being shot and all sorts of other things, exhibition driving out of control. I mean, to say it's lawless is an overstatement, okay? But they have a real law enforcement criminality problem in Birmingham. You're a former U.S. attorney. You dealt with some of this stuff. What could be done here?
So, and look, I consider Randall Woodfin a friend, and I worked very closely with him. I'll say this. I know how we got murders in Birmingham down into the 90s, right? Which it's incredibly still an awful number. But when compared with 144, it is angelic. So what it takes is, though, it takes the DA, the Birmingham Police Department, and all the federal resources in the neighboring counties and PDs to all work together to figure out who the worst offenders are in the community and then put cases on them. And even if it's not a murder case, what we did was we knew these guys were rolling around with dope and guns, so we put federal gun cases on them, even though they probably had dead bodies on them that we couldn't prove. Okay, well, they're going to go to a federal prison now for 3 or 5 years where there's no sanctuary of parole, and that prison's in Colorado. It's not across the river, and they're out of the game. And there's a finite amount of shooters in any street gang, and you start plucking those shooters out of those gangs, and pretty soon you don't see the Magic City Mafia. You don't see the FTH street gang in Birmingham anymore. But what BPD is, once BPD saw those numbers go down, they stopped getting that federal assistance. Patrick Smith, the ex-police chief, he just said, we'll do it by ourselves. We don't need your help anymore. And what did we see? As soon as he did that, 2020, 21, 22, murders shot up in Birmingham. They got to get back to the basics. Get your worst offenders off the street. It's possible. It takes a lot of leadership and a lot of will.
There we go. Jay Town, former U.S. attorney, Northern District of Alabama. Thank you very much for all of your insight. We will definitely talk to you and pick that brain here soon. Jay Town, thank you very much. Mecca Music.
Thanks, guys.
Get out of here. The show's going to get a lot better because I'm going to offer you a parting shot. Stay tuned. Hey, folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. Now, look, I love Kias. I've driven plenty of them. I used to have a Kia Sportage. When my son was born, my wife said, no, we got to get ourselves one of these big SUVs. The Telluride from University Kia is an absolutely amazing vehicle. You get it at a great price, but you get everything at University Kia at a great price. Learn more about them today. Head on over to universitykia.com. Find the perfect vehicle for you, new and pre-owned. They got it for you. universitykia.com.
Programming. Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, You'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here, and this is my son, Grant. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. He's a handful, I'm a handful, and if I want to stay married, I need Top Shelf Customized Cleaning to come and take care of my house. They do an amazing job for me, and they'll do an amazing job for you. Cindy loves them, I love them, Grant loves them as well. Check them out on Facebook, Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. And don't forget, call them today, 256-417-9122. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them Grant sent you. Welcome back to Alabama Politics this week. I am Dale Jackson, even though I'm looking at the wrong camera. It's all right. It is fine. We got a lot ready to go right here for the party and shop. But before I tell you that, head on over to yellowhammernews.com. Sign up for the 7 things you should be talking about today. And you will always get the 7 things you should be talking about today in your email inbox every single day. yellowhammernews.com. For right now, let's go ahead and get to that party and shop. My party shot this week is directed at the mayor of Birmingham. We were just talking about that a second ago, but listen, I don't know if you've been watching this crime stuff that's going on down there, the exhibition driving, the problems they're having. There was a video, a series of videos put on Facebook earlier this week where an individual was filming himself as he jumped in front of a police SUV, and then they were like, oh my God, I can't believe they hit him with a vehicle. Luckily, the vehicle was fine. So nothing happened to the vehicle there. And at the end of the day, the investigation will find, as you can see on the video, that the guy jumped in front of the vehicle. Forget about that. The other videos show cars crashing into each other, cars speeding around, cars doing donuts, all sorts of things. They've got to get a hold on this. And as J-Town was saying a second ago, you deal with these smaller crimes, you take the people who commit the bigger crimes off the street. It's really that simple. J-Town's right about that. It's been proven almost everywhere. So they need to get into that in Birmingham, hopefully here soon before the legislature gets involved, because that's the next step. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching Alabama Politics this week. We'll be back next week. Thank you. Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. Now look, I love Kias. I've driven plenty of them. I used to have a Kia Sportage. When my son was born, my wife said, no, we got to get ourselves one of these big SUVs. The Telluride from University Kia is an absolutely amazing vehicle. You get it at a great price, but you get everything at University Kia at a great price. Learn more about them today. Head on over to universitykia.com. Find the perfect vehicle for you, new and pre-owned. They got it for you. universitykia.com.
Programming. Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here, and this is my son, Grant. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. He's a handful, I'm a handful, and if I want to stay married, I need Top Shelf Customized Cleaning to come and take care of my house. They do an amazing job for me, and they'll do an amazing job for you. Cindy loves them, I love them, Grant loves them as well. Check them out on Facebook, Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. And don't forget, call them today, 256-417-9122. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them Grant sent you.